Anne-Marie, look at that. It's the London Bridge. You know, like the song. Yeah. Linda? Hey,
Yes,
hey,
I'm
Linda!
here. London Bridge is falling down.
I've always heard the song, always sung the song, and I've never seen it. This is absolutely amazing.
It is. It's a beautiful bridge, and it's in a very beautiful spot. If you ever get the chance to go to the Lake Havasu Museum,
Uh-huh.
it gives you all the details on how the
Oh,
bridge was moved over here, the dates, and what they had to do to get it over here. And it is supposedly haunted. Just figured
oh,
I'd throw that there.
wait, the bridge or the museum?
The bridge.
Ah,
And apparently,
interesting.
a lot of people have jumped off the bridge, not here in
Ah.
Havasu, but in England. So,
Choosing this London Bridge Harley Davidson store as our meetup spot was a good choice. It was pretty easy to find. So thanks for that.
yeah, it is pretty easy to find in the mall. I love this mall because, of course, we've got some really good food here, but cute little shops. And it's right on the water, so it's kind of cool.
We're going to have to check that out while we're here. What's interesting is my wife and I used to always go to Harley Davidson stores to collect decals for my father-in-law. So we always get a smile when we see one now. So it turned out perfectly.
Oh, great. I'm glad.
Yeah. So Anne-Marie's going to join us for our walk today. I'm just going to let you know this might be a little bit of a challenge. She's kind of still in that toddling phase, but hopefully that's
Oh, that's
okay.
okay.
Okay,
She'll love
awesome.
looking at the boats
I think so.
and the water.
I think so. I'm excited to show her. All right. Well, if you're ready, go ahead and lead the way.
Let's do it. Follow me this way.
Let's
We're going
do
to
it.
head over the bridge. And
Okay.
once we get over onto the other side, we're going to walk down a flight of stairs. And I'm sure Anne-Marie will enjoy that as well.
Yeah. All right. It's going to be fun, kiddo. You're 18 months younger than Harry, right?
Yes.
And you also have a younger sister.
Yes.
And
She is, oh God, she's 2 years younger than I am.
oh, okay.
Approximately, yeah.
Okay. And from like a growing up perspective, what is the earliest memory of your brother?
The earliest memory, I would say, we had a beagle dog fell in our pool. And I remember Harry pulling the dog out of the pool and walking the dog into the house. So that is probably the first memory.
Wow.
Approximately 4 years old. But, looking at pictures of us back when we were younger, it makes me think that I have earlier memories. But the
Sure.
one that is most vivid is watching Harry bring that dog in through the back door.
Wow. Oh, that's a vivid
I may
memory
have
for
been
sure.
younger than 4.
As the two of you grew up, how did your relationship develop?
Well, we were so close in age, and he was my playmate. We were always together, sometimes fighting, most of the time
Siblings
not.
do? Yeah.
Yes, but growing up, once my sister came along, she was ill quite a
Oh.
bit.
Oh.
And so my mother kind of spent a lot of time with her. So Harry and I formed a bond,
Yeah.
and we were together a lot. And unfortunately, my dad was in the picture, but he was a very controlling, strict man.
Sure.
But having said that, as a family together, we did a lot of camping, traveling, boating. We did all of that. So as a young child, I do remember those times with Harry as well. So it's really kind of hard to pinpoint any one memory that
Sure.
I remember of my brother.
Yeah.
I remember him riding motorcycles at a very young age. We used to go motorcycle riding. So there's actually a lot. But because of my sister, my mom spent a lot of time with her. And so Harry and I kind of grew closer and just hung out a lot together.
So if you could go back and spend a day with Harry as kids, before all of this BMX stuff, how would you two have had the perfect day?
Probably. There's one memory that just stands out.
Yeah?
Because we used to joke around together all the time. There is a picture of us. I remember it so vividly. We had a push lawnmower, and
Okay.
it was not a motor. It was an old push lawn that you had to push. And so we had a pretty good sized front yard. So he was pushing the lawnmower, and I was walking behind him with a big stick off of the tree, and I kept hitting him in the head with it. And so it took forever to get that lawn mowed, but the whole time we just played around and giggled and laughed. And so, yeah, it was a very fond memory because I could still see that vividly in my head. And this was probably way before he started his BMX journey. You know, I remember him jumping his bike before he even started BMX.
How so?
You know, and I tried to jump one of his jumps that he was doing,
Yeah.
and I ended up flying over the handlebars and giving myself a concussion. So
No.
I did not follow in my brother's footsteps where that was concerned.
I was going to ask about your BMX career, but I guess that kind of answers that one now.
And I did do one race with Shelly. It was a
Oh.
Mother's Day race, and of course she beat me, but
Ah.
she should have. She was an avid BMXer, and that's actually how Harry met Shelly.
Okay.
And as far as his younger BMX days, he used to go out there and have kids laying on the street in front of our house, and he would jump them with his bike.
Oh my goodness.
And that's when people started coming around.
Wow. That's cool. That's
everybody used to meet at our house. Always 10, 11 kids at our house with their bikes riding.
Approximate how old?
We were in middle school.
Okay.
Elementary school. In middle school, I remember a race they had at the school.
Okay.
And it was a bunch of kids at the school got together and just did a race around the field in the back of the school. And Harry was so far ahead of the pack, it was ridiculous.
Of course.
So after that race, his reputation kind of grew. And then all through high school, everybody was in awe of him. And I remember one thing that we had driver's education, and they had this simulation as to when you had to take your foot off of the gas pedal and slam on the brakes.
Oh.
And Harry won that particular contest, and all these kids were coming out going, "Oh my God, your brother just beat everybody," and on and on and on and on. So, I mean, he had hero worship even in high school.
No. Darn at the beginning of his life at that point, essentially.
He tried baseball.
Okay.
But nothing, no sports really took the place of his riding.
Interesting.
And it was always his bikes.
So he didn't start to ride to escape?
He had some aggression.
Sure.
Even a copy of Harry's, I think it's his first grade report card.
No way.
It talks about Harry's aggression on the playground.
Oh my goodness.
And that if he would get rid of this aggression, he could do better in school.
Sure.
I don't remember him fighting a lot. I do remember he and my father really struggling a lot. I mean, they kind of did not get along, and that might have been the catalyst that threw him into his bike riding.
I read that they brought this here in 71, I guess.
Yeah, it was originally over in England.
Yeah.
And this whole canal was completely dry. This was all they blocked off all the water.
Yeah.
And so then once they built it, because they made an island, which is where you're parked. You're actually parked on the island.
Okay.
Is what they call it. And so the bridge goes over to the island. And honestly, it's the only way right now at this point in time to get back and forth to the island.
Oh.
So if something ever happened to the bridge, you would be stuck over there. Unless you had a boat, and then you could take your boat. So.
Oh, man. Well, that's interesting. But I guess you know what you're getting yourself into when you kind of move there, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That heat. You get yourself into the heat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The heat, I can imagine. I actually, to be honest with you, almost didn't believe this existed. But I'm definitely going to have to check out that museum. Everybody always says that I have a bridge to sell you. Right, well, this one was actually sold and relocated from London. So I'm kind of geeking out on that. Yeah. Something just popped into my head that I think I heard. We were kind of talking about you as kids, but Harry's first bike was actually a horse? Am I getting that wrong?
I have a picture of him, and he had to have been not much older than 1 year old.
Okay.
And it was a little brown horse with wheels on it. And he used to ride that thing around the house.
Oh, I love it.
Those were his first wheels. And then, he moved up to a tricycle and then a little bike. And then, of course, we had Honda motorcycles. We had a Honda 55 and a Honda 90 that we would take out to the desert and ride a lot. And Harry
Nice.
loved that. That's
Nice.
one thing he and my father did a lot of, was motorcycle riding together. So that did bring them a little bit closer.
That is awesome to kind of hear that. I mean, at least they had that as a strong bond, it sounds like. I didn't realize your dad rode before. That's new for me.
Oh, yeah, no, my dad was heavily into motorcycles. He had an Indian. He had a Triumph. And so we did some street riding. But yeah, my dad was into a lot of things like that. As a family, we traveled a lot. We did a lot. And so we were very close that way. But because Harry and I were so close in age, even as we grew older, I think that's why we were always so close growing up, was because of the age difference.
It makes sense, yeah.
My brother and my younger sister were never really close. My sister and I were. So I think the age difference played a big part, and tried to keep up with Harry. So that made it so that he and I were closer. I chased Harry a lot. I tried to keep up with him and do everything he did. And I got to where he was irritated with his sister because I was there. And I totally get that. Who wants your sister around all the time?
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Did your brother paddleboard?
He did a few times. I don't think it was his forte, only because it wasn't dangerous enough and it was not fast enough.
Fair enough.
So, and it didn't have wheels.
Yeah,
there was the problem. It didn't have wheels.
Speaking of wheels, he worked at his Schwinn's bike store, if I'm not mistaken, called Coates. Do you remember much about that at all, or anything about the Schwinn days?
I do not remember the name of the Schwinn shop, but I do remember him working for Schwinn.
Okay.
And that was his first bike shop. And I think that's honestly where he learned to really work on his bikes.
Oh.
He went from Schwinn to JMC.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, in relationship to where we lived, it was kind of far away. And so he had to ride his bike to work every day, back and forth. And he loved it. I mean, that's just what he did. He loved working for Schwinn.
Yeah.
And then he went to JMC. And at that point, he raced for JMC, but then he went to Diamondback. In between those times, honestly, I know he raced, but again, as Harry got older, he didn't really want his sister following him around. So, I got my own life. He had his, but I'm still really close.
Okay.
There were some things that I just was not, it's like, no, you're not coming. I got that a lot.
Nah, I get that. I have a younger sister as well, so I totally understand. You mind if we take a quick water break and take a quick view break?
No, not at all.
Cool. Hey, here you go, Kayla.
And you see the flags up here. They have the English flag along with the American flag.
Wow.
So they're all up along the whole bridge here, you can see.
That is really cool. The Union Jack, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of cool to see both of them.
I think it sounds great.
Up and down the bridge.
Puts things kind of into perspective with regards to the travels that this bridge took.
Right. Yeah, you should really look up the research on it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's really
definitely.
Interesting.
All right. Yeah. So those flags, you see that? And remember, we're on the London Bridge. Yeah. Like London Bridge is falling. No, don't sing that.
Exactly, falling down.
Falling down. No. All right. I tried to get her to go with me, but I swear she normally likes my singing. Oh, look at that. A boatload of half-naked ladies.
You'll see a lot of that.
All right.
Especially on 3-day weekends. And Harry loved that part of Lake Havasu, of course.
Oh, it's hilarious. So then Harry started to ride for JMC. He turned professional. He went to Diamondback. Is there anything that kind of stands out to you in that JMC to Diamondback transition in Harry's life?
Oh, gosh, no. The only thing that stands out in my mind
Mhm.
is he was gone.
Yeah.
Once he went with Diamondback, that was it. He was gone. He, honestly, I believe when he was with JMC, he met Jamie,
Oh.
which was his very, very first love. And because of the animosity between my brother and my father, he ended up moving and living with her parents. And that was about the time, I believe, between the JMC and the Diamondback. So once he started racing Diamondback, he traveled and he was gone. And so I very rarely saw him. And we kind of lost touch in those years that he was with Diamondback.
But he did eventually return to the family.
He did. There was animosity because my mother and my father did not want him moving out. You couldn't stop him. He was on his own. He was making a living. He was doing what he wanted to do. And as far as the family was concerned, yeah, he would stop by, but he and my father never really got a relationship back after that. It was kind of severed.
Yeah.
Then my brother and I, we were always close, but that period in his life, you've got this young person who is gifted and he's in charge of a team and he's traveling, he's making money. And at that age, I mean, they don't usually look back.
Yeah.
And I think he did at that point. I think he was going to do it for himself. And I believe that he felt that my father, not so much my mother, but that my father was holding him back for achieving his dreams.
Oh.
Because they never felt that he was going to go anywhere in bikes.
Sure.
They wanted him to go to college, and Harry did not go to college.
Yeah.
And if he didn't do, my dad, wanted him to do this, that, and the other thing, and Harry pretty much said, screw you, and do what I want to do. And at that point, I think a lot of Harry's drive came from the fact that he was going to prove his family wrong. His family meaning his father. And I think that, honestly, is what kind of sent Harry in his driven direction.
Okay.
But then I believe once he found out just how good he was and the world found out how good he was, that's when he took off.
Yeah.
And I think his drive came from another direction.
He came back, and you mentioned Jamie. I don't know very much about Jamie or any of the other women in his life, but I believe he was married twice, and I thought he was married to Jamie as well, but I guess I could have gotten that wrong.
No, actually, he did marry Jamie.
Oh,
he was
okay.
married to Jamie. Let's see. He married Denise. That was his first wife.
Okay.
And they divorced. And then he met Alicia, which is Brianna's mother, Harry's daughter. And then they were married for, I'm going to say 2 to 3 years, and then they divorced. And Harry was by himself for quite some time.
Yeah.
And he and Jamie hooked up again, and he ended up marrying Jamie.
Wow, okay.
So he was married 3 times. After Jamie, he met Shelley, and Shelley was the love of his life.
Yeah.
Shelley and Harry never did marry because Shelley was married to a military person who died of cancer. So she had a whole lot of benefits that she would lose if she married.
Sure.
And thank God she didn't, because she became terminally ill.
Yeah.
And then we lost her to pancreatic cancer. And at that point, it was Harry's spiral, I believe, started. That's what started his spiral.
That makes sense.
His anger issues was when he lost Shelley.
That makes sense. I can't imagine having the love of my life ripped away like that.
Yeah, no, we were all there. Harry stuck by her side. He was her rock. He took care of her. It was a long and painful illness. And when she passed, something left with Harry as well. Shelley was around when he had his track. He met Shelley through, and I wish I could remember his name. The guy was at the Celebration of Life with Harry, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name, introduced Harry and Shelley together.
Oh,
and
wow.
They hit it off, and they both raced. Harry trained Shelley, and then they had the track, and Shelley was there. And then she passed. And then at that point, kind of, I don't want to say went off the deep end, but, we lost touch again.
Sure. Okay. I appreciate you sharing about that. I don't know much about Shelley. And as I said, I don't know much about Jamie, but there's a couple of things I have learned. And I guess kind of a backstory of how I learned of Shelley was that I actually had a signed number plate to Shelley from Harry, and I gave it to our friend Greg Mathias.
Well, I have to tell you,
Yeah.
I am now in possession of that plate.
I
Greg
heard.
gave it to me, and it is one of my most treasured possessions at this time because Shelley was like my sister.
My goodness.
And when I saw that, I believe it said to my girl, Shelley.
Yeah.
And I just started crying when I saw it because it was very heartfelt. And I did not know that you were originally in possession of that.
Oh, yes, ma'am. That was mine to Greg. So
Well, I hope you don't mind. It ended up with Harry's sister.
I'm hoping for the right home for the right things.
How did you come across it?
I bought it on eBay.
Oh, you did?
Just like everything. I buy all my stuff online for the most part. So I go between BMX Museum and eBay, and that's how I got that one.
Wow, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So yeah, Shelley was a great person. We did a lot of boating, all of us together, a lot of camping, motorcycle riding, and I ended up buying Shelley's bike from Harry after she passed.
Oh.
She had a Honda 230 CRF, and so I ended up with that bike. Then I bought a 400 off of Harry for my son.
Yeah.
So we all rode red bikes.
Everybody rode
Honda
red.
all the way. Yep.
Yeah. That is awesome. I've seen the Ride Red stickers on his bikes, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I was always red bikes for sure. I mean, he grew up with Hondas, so that was all we rode.
That's awesome. Besides riding, I know you had a hobby that you haven't mentioned yet, to be honest with you, and that's dancing. And here's how I know about it. For the same reason I know about Jamie. And it's because Jamie said that he was a dancer and had very wonderful things to say about him. And the dancing really caught my attention.
Both Harry and I have a hell of a lot of rhythm.
Yeah.
And he could definitely dance.
Yeah.
And so as far as a hobby, I've seen he would. I mean, when he lived here, we would have the music going.
Yeah.
We would be dancing through the house, and at his wedding, he was dancing. And my sister and my brother and I, all three of us, were out on the dance floor, and we provided quite the sight, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he really could. And after talking to Jamie, I didn't realize that Harry had such a romantic nature.
Oh. You didn't see that in his sister, though, so, I mean, that makes sense.
I have found out a lot about my brother since he passed. A lot of things I did not know that made him more human, I guess you could say.
Sure.
And just more in depth to his caring nature. He was a very loving person, and the women in his life, he's had some bad ones.
Sure.
And I know Harry's not the easiest person to live with. And honestly, as his CTE progressed, his anger, his paranoia, those things started to get worse. And it took its toll on our family.
Of course.
On his relationships. Originally, everybody thought, well, he's using drugs. But at this point, knowing what I know now about CTE,
yeah,
I don't believe that was the case any longer. I completely believe that the CTE took control of him. Not saying that he didn't have his demons, but it was getting worse as he was getting older.
That's kind of the story I've heard and understanding that I have, to be honest with you. And he has thankfully led me to learn more and educate myself more about CTE. And if nothing else, I appreciate that insight.
I'm not really sure the avenues to take at this point, but I would like to do something in Harry's name to help other people with CTE, particularly in the BMX world.
Yeah.
to open up doors. There might be people out there with the same symptoms Harry had
Yeah.
that have no clue as to why they're feeling the way they're feeling.
Yeah.
They may think that they're crazy, but that's not the
Yeah.
case. It's a disease. They have a form of brain damage. And I'm not even sure how to go about it.
Sure.
I just feel that God will open the doors up for me when the time is right. And I just feel that there's more meaning to Harry's death than what is happening at this point in time. There's more.
Well, I believe that. And I wouldn't be here having this conversation with you if I didn't wholeheartedly believe that. So, yeah.
It would add meaning to his life and make the legend, Harry Leary, the legend, live on in as much as people could think of him more along the lines of, well, he had CTE, but look at what he's done in awareness of that disease.
Yeah.
Because of him, I want to bring on awareness of this disease and have Harry be the catalyst of it, because of his name, because he was so well known, because of his history and his stories and the haters in the world. It just would be nice to be able to look back on him and say, well, because of him, we were able to find out this, and it saved children, saved other riders. They may have gone in and gotten checked. Who knows?
Yeah. I think it's the right path. I think that God will show you the way to that. And I think it's an amazing goal.
Yeah. I just am not sure how to go about it, but
But we can put some smart heads together.
Yeah, we will.
There you go.
Sure.
Love it. But you love it too, huh, Ann? Yeah. But I kind of get it because I was on Harry's side a little. At the age of 39, I got diagnosed bipolar 1, and my world got turned upside down. And I'm 7 years past that, barely getting past that. It's not easy, and my heart is out to anybody afflicted like this.
Well, the problem with that kind of an affliction is unless you are diagnosed, you don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
You automatically think something is horribly wrong with you, and a lot of people will turn to drug or some outside source that's going to make you feel better and make you forget.
Yeah.
And it's an illness that brings on addictions.
Yeah.
That brings on other bad behavior.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the general population in the BMX world who knew Harry ever thought past that. I think they looked at Harry as a star, a BMX legend, and he had a certain protocol he was supposed to follow. And whenever he fell off of what people felt that he should be, it didn't look good. But they never delved into, well, what if he has this problem? Maybe there's something wrong. Maybe there is more to Harry Leary than what everybody thinks there is.
Yeah.
And there was.
Yeah, there absolutely was. I believe that. Out of curiosity, if you don't mind framing this for me, we've kind of touched on some things, but in many instances, I see that the vast majority of his supporters are women. And I've heard wonderful things about Harry with children as well. Yet I see kind of so many scary, Leary stories that from people or outsiders, in my opinion. How is that true? That it seems like so many of the women on the inside of his circle wholeheartedly support him. Still, even Jamie.
Yeah, even Jamie. Jamie is a great gal. I consider her my sister as well because she was. She was my sister-in-law. And there's some women that would probably say otherwise as to Harry, but he was kind. I think his kindness came out in children, dogs, and women. Not so much in the male population because he was so competitive.
Exactly. He was the alpha, right?
Exactly. And I think a lot of it was being that competitive, and you're racing other people and you're constantly winning. You're going to have haters. And I think that Harry more or less gravitated towards women because the men looked at him more like a competitor.
Sure.
He had some good friends. I'm not going to say that. You know, Eddie King, Clint Miller, Greg at the end was there for the last 8 months of Harry's life. And Harry made a huge impact on Greg.
Yeah.
And the kindness that Harry showed Greg is something that Greg will always remember. And there was a kindness to Harry that a lot of people never saw.
Yeah. I've learned that. It's kind of
Yes.
cool, to be honest with you.
As far as gravitating towards the women, how women felt about him,
Yeah.
he was very open
Sure.
and could easily talk to women more so than he could to most men. And so it was easier to open up his feelings to women and talking a certain amount of the women that were in his life that I personally knew.
Yeah.
He left his mark on all of them.
That's what I've seen. It's
You know?
amazing to see.
It really is. I've become very good friends with Dottie, and Dottie was a very special friend of Harry's. And
I love
Harry
Dottie.
I do too. Harry thought so highly of Dottie, and she was around for quite a long time, and they were very good friends. They tried a relationship, it didn't work, but they remained best friends.
That's
And
great.
she was always there for him, and he was there for her.
That's amazing. She actually sent me some decals, I don't know, about 2 months ago that she had left over from Dirtworks. It was really cool, really nice note, and it was really sweet of her. She is an absolute sweetheart, and I know Mike Miller speaks the world of her.
Oh, yeah. She and Harry owned that track.
Yeah.
And Mike Miller was the announcer at Harry's track.
Yep.
And I was the snack bar lady.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually reading Mike's book right now.
Are you really?
I'm doing a book club event series on his book right now. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Oh, wow. I would like to read that.
Yeah, I'll shoot you over some info on it.
I even actually thought about writing and getting together with the people who could fill in the blanks,
Yeah.
an autobiography of Harry.
Yeah.
But I am not a writer. But
Yeah.
there is now other ways that you could write books. So.
I would be honored to be able to help you as best I can. I don't know what that means, but I think you're on the right track with kind of filling in those blanks and getting the story out there. I think it could be done.
I think so too. There's certain avenues that I am now aware of that I can utilize to fill in the time span.
Yeah.
You know, Gork from USA BMX would be a good source of information.
Yep, absolutely. He's been great. I made a donation to them, and Gork did the unboxing for it. It was really fun working with him over that.
Well, you know, I have to tell you, I just today, Eddie King is going to be at the Hall of Fame in September, and I was going to try to go, but it didn't work out. However, I did just today mail him an urn with Harry's ashes in it that he's going to give to Gork in September. So, which I thought was, it needed to be there. You know, it needed to be there.
He won't be the first set of ashes there.
That's what Eddie was telling me.
He will not be the first.
And I think he just needs to be there.
And look, there's hot air balloon.
Yeah, we get a lot of those here. They have them in March, more or less. And January, February, there's a hot air balloon festival out here.
Oh.
And they're huge out here.
Okay. And so I guess this made me lead to a question I have about Harry. So if I had a parachute for Harry to jump out of a hot air balloon on his bike, would he have taken me up on the opportunity?
Yes.
I love it.
For sure. And let me tell you, Harry said that if he ever got terminally ill, he would never let his family know. What he would do is he would take his bike and ride it off of the Grand Canyon to end his life. So that was like Harry's ultimate. And he used to talk about it all the time. I said, you know, you're stupid. You're just stupid. Don't even talk about it. But yeah, he wouldn't do any crazy, stupid thing like that.
So it's been a year since Harry passed?
It's a year today.
Oh, wow.
Exactly today.
Wow.
Is when, I need to touch on this a little bit, is when the police showed up at my front door. But I believe that he passed on the 5th of September.
Yes.
And the 7th is what's on his death certificate. And it's when they found him.
Oh, okay.
10:30 in the morning on September 7th, a year ago today.
1 year ago today. Do you mind if we talk a little bit more about kind of that or life since then, how things have been?
Yes, we can talk about the morning that they showed up. Yeah, no, I'm open. Just ask me questions. I'll be as forthcoming as I can be.
So you said you were notified by the police of Harry's passing. Do you mind kind of walking me through that scene and say perhaps the following 48 hours in your world?
It was about noon that they showed up at my door. And when I walked out there was a policeman sitting on my front porch. And I'm like, originally, I feel, my daughter was up hunting in Colorado in the back mountains. And when he showed up on my doorstep, I had this overwhelming fear that it was about her.
Oh.
And
Oh.
so when I walked out, they asked me, do you know Harry Leary? And then, of course, I felt a total sense of relief. I said, yeah, he's my brother. And so I originally thought, okay, they're here to serve him with papers for something he did.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Exactly. And I said, well, yeah, he's my brother. And at that point, he said, well, I need to tell you he's deceased. I asked the policeman what happened, and what they did is they gave me the number of the officer that took the report and that had went out and found him, basically.
Sure, yeah.
And so then at that point, I called that officer and spoke to him briefly. Somebody did a wee tip phone call and told them that they found him in his car off of the 10 freeway by Quartzsite in the middle of nowhere, off an exit 69 on the 10 freeway is where they found him. And I've been there several times and there's nothing out there. Honestly, I think he pulled over to get some sleep,
Sure,
honestly, and just never woke up. And that, I believe, and Greg Mathias, Harry's friend, believes as well, because he was trying to get in touch with Harry and his communication stopped on that Thursday, that I believe he passed. I am going to get a little graphic here, and if that's not okay, I understand. But
you have the floor, Linda.
They did tell me that he was unrecognizable. So he had been in a hot car for a good 24 plus hours.
Wow.
Because they did not even recognize him. He did not die on the 7th at 10:30 in the morning. That's when they found him.
Yeah.
So tried to get the exact time of death, but I'm just going based on the last bit of communication, based on the fact that he was in that car for a while. That's kind of what Greg and I came up with. At that point, had got that phone call, and apparently they had also called his daughter, Brianna.
Okay.
And then Brianna and I spoke a little bit, but I immediately called my sister because I was petrified that they were going to show up my mother's door.
Oh.
And what mother wants a policeman to show up at her door and tell her that her son has passed? After I got that news, I was on the road within an hour driving to California from Lake Havasu. And I don't even remember that drive.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
Sure.
I talked to my sister. We actually called my mother, and both of us told her. But both of us left. She's in Seal Beach, so she left her home. I left mine, and we both went there for her.
Okay.
And so we were there for her. And we were all in shock, my mother included.
Yeah.
And that whole weekend is just a blur to me.
So you mentioned Greg, and I chatted with Greg, and he mentioned that you didn't know who he was at first. I guess you kind of gave him the third degree just because you didn't know who he was.
I did, but a lot of it is really vague to me, but sure. I believe that Suzanne, his ex-girlfriend, messaged me and gave me Greg's number. She asked if I'd heard from Harry, and I didn't want to tell her what had happened. So I messaged Greg, and I had to find out who he was. Harry never mentioned Greg to me. He just said he had a friend, and I did not know who Greg was.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what, that man was a godsend to me. I don't know what I would have done without him, honestly.
Yeah.
And we've become very good friends, and he is a wonderful person, a wonderful person. I can't say enough good things about that man.
Yeah.
What he did for me was just beyond anything that anyone should have done. And what he did for Harry, it's just, yes. So
He
yes,
loved Harry. It comes across when you talk or you interact with Greg. He truly loved Harry.
He did. Harry was like a brother to him, I found out later. And Greg was in Harry's life the 8 months that I was not. And that was the 8 months Harry and I kind of lost touch. So Greg had information about my brother and how he was doing and what he was doing that I didn't know. And together we mourned. We helped each other get through moments that we needed to get through. And we're still doing that. Probably chatted on the phone umpteen dozen times a day for quite some time. So yeah, no, and we still talk. He'll always have a big piece of my heart for the fact that he was there for my brother, and always has been and always will be.
He told me a line a while back that really stuck with me, and it saved me quite a bit. To your words, right? And I think that represents a lot of who Greg is taking the time to listen and understand before speaking and to be helpful. It's been tremendous what I've seen from his side, and it's really cool to hear it from you.
Oh yeah, no, he's very soft-spoken, funny guy, very funny guy. I mean, he made a horrible situation honestly kind of funny. It was crazy. I came back from my mom's. My husband and I had to go empty out his car that was
wow.
And of course the bike was gone. And that was my biggest thing. I had contacted Greg. I said, his bike was not in the car. And I was adamant that I could not get out there to check his apartment. And Greg was able, through the management and whatnot, he was able to get a key and go into Harry's apartment for me. And he pulled out, I said, just take everything of importance out. And the bike was not there. And so he did. Sure. I want to put this out there because I've had several people contact me about wanting to buy some of Harry's things. Harry had virtually nothing left. Harry pretty much sold, and he did not care a whit about monetary things. And he pretty much sold everything. So what was left was a few items of his personal things. And so I just wanted to put that out there. I had one gentleman ask me when I'm going to be selling some of Harry's bikes, what happened to him. And he literally said it in an angry way. Well, whatever happened to all of Harry's stuff? And I'm like, what? Really? What business is it of yours, first of all? And honestly, I will never sell anything of Harry's. I had to go to his car, and so we had to empty out his car. Of course, the stench in the car was not the best. Some of the items that I had to take out of the car, his phone was in there. I mean, whoever took his bike left his watch on his wrist, his wallet in his pocket, and his phone in the front seat. The whole bike thing is just weird. Yeah, it is. And then the police wouldn't take a report. They wouldn't help me because it was in 2 jurisdictions. It was a fiasco to get that bike back. Thank God for Greg Matthews and Rob Porter and his wife. They were able to, I'm going to say it, set up a sting to get that bike back. That's awesome. So it was awesome. And Greg really did a lot. There's a lot he didn't tell me. I'm sure. That. Yeah. He did a lot. And again, when they found the bike, because Harry never let his bikes out of his sight, ever, even growing up. and you just didn't touch Harry Leary's bike. That's one thing nobody ever did. You don't touch it. You would lose a hand, honestly.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So, and he never let them out of his sight. And he took his bike wherever he went because he was afraid to leave it at home because he was a little paranoid. I think it was the
Sure.
CTE.
Sure. Yeah.
And he was afraid that somebody was breaking into his apartment and stealing stuff. So a lot of paranoia came with that, with the CTE, which is a sign of it. After we got his car back, the next day we had to drive out to his apartment in Phoenix, and I had to empty it out. And Greg, bless his heart, was there. He showed up there, and he had taken things out of Harry's apartment that belonged to him, and he gave everything back to me. He even helped us go through the apartment together. And just having him there was very supportive. And we laughed, we cried. It was just 2 days of awful, awful things.
Yeah.
And then the third day, I had to go to the crematory to pick up his personal effects.
Oh, okay.
So I did all that. My husband and I did. I didn't want my mom involved. So then I had Harry transferred from Quartzsite because I'm going to say it's a shithole. I did not want my brother. He was at the crematory in Parker. I did not want him there.
Okay.
So I had him transferred to Lake Havasu, the crematory in Lake Havasu.
Oh.
Ironically enough, they have cremated several of my dogs, but it's a wonderful place. They do people and they do dogs. So, you know, I thought, what better place to have Harry done than at a place that does both?
Harry loved dogs. So,
oh my God, he loved his dogs, and dogs loved him.
Yeah.
And dogs are a very good judge of character.
Exactly.
All dogs loved Harry, and that says something about his character. If he was as big of a scumbag as people say he is, dogs would know.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw that out there. Dogs have a better sense of people than people have sense of other people. Anybody that is a dog lover will understand.
The cremation services, you were there, right?
Yes, I was there just by myself. My daughter was going to come down, Jessica, but she lost her dad 2 years ago, and she was not emotionally ready to deal with that. So
Sure.
I decided I didn't want anybody there with me that didn't want to be there for Harry.
Okay.
And so I did it by myself. He loved Creed, so I picked out 3 Creed songs that they played. And I pushed the button and watched the box go in. So, yeah, it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
But yet it was very hard at the same time.
I can't imagine. I've never done that.
I'd always been there for my brother through thick and thin. Whenever he needed anything, I was there. Always, always, through his whole life. And I was there at the end.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful moment.
You've had, I guess, a year now to the day to reflect since he's passed. And we've talked about some things in the past. And his dedication to the sport, I should say. Have you?
Yes.
Have you found closure with his dedication to the sport?
I was able to do that through having his celebration of life at Dirty Fest.
Okay.
And just listening to some of what the people said about my brother, and I learned so much about him. When he was in Diamondback, I didn't realize he was the manager of the team. I didn't know the way that these younger kids and even the older people looked up to him and how he ran that team. Yeah. I didn't know any of that. Just saw my brother as a figure at that point. I really didn't know. I knew he was good. I knew he made a living doing it, but I was a teenager and he didn't want his sister hanging around. So Harry kind of went his own way with the BMX world, and I would go to his races a lot, and I didn't go to watch my brother race.
Yeah.
I went there to meet his friends
I
because he
imagine.
had a lot of cute friends. So, but I saw Harry race a lot.
Yeah.
But I think one of the most memorable races I saw Harry race was it was on a dirt track, and honestly, I don't remember where it was, but somebody took him out on a turn. And he went and he picked his bike up. And when that person passed back by him on the next turn,
Yeah.
Harry chucked his bike at him
Yeah.
and knocked
Oh
him
my
off his
God.
bike. And I thought, right on, that's my brother. That is the coolest thing. At that point, I think was when Harry started getting the name Harry Scary Leary. You know, I don't know if you knew that they called him that.
I did, yes. Not very long because then he was Turbo, right?
Yeah, but he was Harry Scary Leary, and he was pretty scary when he lost his temper.
Yeah.
With his racing, he was so dedicated and just focused. And if anybody messed with him, they got it in return. That's what BMX was about back then.
Yeah.
Now, what happened at the Grands, like future BMXing, we're talking old school.
Yeah.
And that's how they did it back then. None of this, oh, well, he hit me on the turn. Now, Harry gave shit when it was given to him.
Yeah.
Always.
You always
Always.
got payback, right?
Yeah, and there's sometimes he probably should have kept it. Well, he definitely should have just temper.
Chew your words, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. And
Oh,
that probably wasn't the smartest thing he did at the Grands, but the uproar over it was, in my opinion, a little much, you know?
yeah.
And did he deserve what he got out of it? I think it was more, I don't think it was the BMX sport itself. I think it was the riders and the people involved in the sport that were clamoring for something that needed to be done. They had to do something.
They changed.
And I,
They made changes out of because of it.
yeah, what they really should start making changes on is the CTE that goes on in the sport. And that's what they should concentrate on. The injuries that these young kids up and coming are going to be suffering because they're on hard tracks now. They're not on dirt tracks.
Yeah, it's changed. I look at these tracks and they terrify me, to be honest.
My granddaughter, Harry's great niece, just started racing. The first thing I did, and I talked to Greg, he pointed me in the right direction. I got her a Troy Lee helmet
Nice.
that is specifically made for CTE.
Oh.
And that's what's on her little head.
Oh.
That was the very first thing I bought. I'm an advocate for the CTE, and I honestly would love to have something in Harry's name. I believe that's what ultimately probably killed him. I mean, what led to his demise?
I think
I should
that
say.
there is enough sound evidence to support that theory. So, as you look towards the future, what do you hope his legacy is?
I hope people view him as the athlete that he was, that the kids nowadays can learn from his dedication, the work ethics that it took to be the person that he was. He worked out hard. He trained hard. He was so focused. He was 64, and he was still racing.
Yeah.
And
I look
kicking
at him.
ass.
Yeah, I look at his pictures and I'm like, are you kidding me? First off, he doesn't look his age, but second off, I'm like,
No.
my goodness, this guy was a beast.
He was a beast. Been riding a mountain bike that he used to ride this hill on his BMX bike.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm sucking wind, right? And because it's not an e-bike, it's a mountain bike. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how in the hell did he do this? I'm going through my gears like a crazy person. And how did he do this on a BMX bike? And then I could hear him in my ear, sister, don't stop.
Yeah.
Because Harry and I worked out quite often together. And it was always a competition.
Yeah.
Harry and I were always competing. I used to beat him running, by the way. I could kick his ass running.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but as far as a bike, nah, never happened.
I can imagine. He was kind of professional and he kind of like, I guess he was kind of professional and made a living out of it for a while. So you might have had a tough chance there.
No chance.
But you said something that caught my attention. You said that you could hear Harry say, sister, don't stop. Is that
Yeah.
something he regularly said to you? Is that kind of like one of his phrases?
Oh, yeah, you can do it. You can do whatever you set your mind to. bikini competition I did, he told me that if you need to do it, if that's something you feel like you want to do, because I always wanted to do them. My husband competed. Natural. All of it was natural. And
Yeah.
mine is definitely natural. And so I trained for it. And after Harry passed, it was something I felt I needed to do for my brother.
That's awesome.
And I accomplished it. So yeah, it was something. Harry was always there pushing me on my dirt bikes, pushing my kids on their dirt bikes and their BMX bikes. He never asked anybody to do anything that he wasn't willing to do himself. And that is always something that stood out in my mind.
It's a sign of a good leader.
I was always trying to keep up with him all through growing up. And like I said, I used to be able to beat him in a running race
Yeah.
for quite a long time. But then, boys will be boys, girls will be girls, and he was
Yep.
able to beat me eventually. So,
Yeah.
but I could say that, I kicked your ass, dude.
I like to play a game called One Word. Are you down?
I'm totally down.
All right, so we're going to do it twice. I guess you get 2 words. Nobody else has ever had 2 words that have asked on this. So, one word to describe Harry Leary as a brother.
Dumbass.
Nah! I think that's
that
2
is
words.
either one word or 2. I don't know. I spell it as one word. So that's what I called him.
Okay.
And that's who and what he was to me.
I love it. That's awesome. You have your before knowledge, you have the knowledge you've gained since Harry's passed. One word for whatever you believe your brother was able to achieve as a BMX legend.
Driven.
Love it.
He was driven, focused. He was just, it was like there was something driving that man.
Yeah.
It was hard to figure out his dedication. It was hard to figure out how come he beat the shit out of himself so much.
Yeah.
And I mean, he did. He really, really did.
Yeah.
He raced when he shouldn't have even been racing.
Yeah, I've heard he's had some pretty severe injuries and he got right on a bike right after that.
He did. And I can tell you about one of them.
Yeah, what's that?
He was in his storage unit putting things away, and he was climbing on a ladder. The ladder slipped. He grabbed the beam overhead, and it was razor sharp, and he ripped the tendons in his hand.
Oh my gosh.
He called me. He was screaming because he just knew his BMX career was over. And I can send you pictures of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up having to have surgery to reattach his tendons.
Oh, wow.
In his hand. You know what? I don't remember his right hand or his left hand. But I do know that he changed his brake lever to the opposite hand so that he could still race. And he raced with a damn bandage on his hand.
Huh. Well, he had to have been used to that because for the early part of his career, he ran front and rear brakes. So he wasn't a stranger to his left hand or to the alternate hand. He just might have been a little out of commission on that bad one.
Yeah, I think he only took a month off. And the doctor, he was moving that hand and exercising it when the doctor had told him not to. Okay. And he basically told the doctor to go fuck himself. And Harry recouped at my house, and he was back on the road after a month.
Wow. Wow.
And it was a bad injury. It really was.
It sounds terrible.
And that actually, I think, was his last really bad injury that he took that I am aware of, was the severing of his tendons in his hand.
And about when was that? What was that, in the early 2020s or?
Yeah, I'm thinking that's about when it was. No, I'm not real sure. We moved permanently out there in 2021, so it may have been 2021.
Oh, wow, okay.
Or 2022, wow. But yeah, I'm thinking 2022, honestly.
Okay.
But I could be wrong on all the time. I mean,
it's okay.
I'm getting old. So.
I'm terrible with dates. Trust, I'm with you on that.
I am too. I mean, I can't remember what I did yesterday, so.
I gotcha. Oh, hey, Ann, look at that. We're getting close to the end of the bridge.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the water down below.
Wow, it's beautiful. And is that a stage I see?
Yes, there is a stage there.
That looks like a nice spot to catch a concert.
It is. Actually do different announcements. and different stage shows, and especially at Christmas, it's all decorated. So we have to go down this flight of stairs to
Okay.
get down to that. Once we get down to the bottom of the stairs, we're going to hang a right,
Okay.
and that's where we put Harry's paver.
That's where the walkway is then, right there, right there.
Yeah, you can see the walkway. It runs right along the canal, and the canal is about maybe 2 miles long, and we paddleboard that all the time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Harry did try a little bit of paddleboarding, but I don't think it was his forte. Now, put him in a boat, that was Harry's world. He was a very good boater. He grew up on boats. We all did. So we, at a very young age, took a 19-foot boat up the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon and camped along the way. And I think I was like 5 or 6, maybe.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and Harry piloted the boats. He drove the boats, and
Yeah.
he was no more than a very young teenager at the time. We go down this pathway, but
Okay,
you can
sorry.
see how the path walkers, runners, bikers, that stage right over there is where
Yeah.
Harry was doing some stunts, and you're not supposed to be on that stage.
Boy, he was doing
And
stunts on the stage or off the
on his
stage?
bike, with his bike.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
he was
goodness.
jumping off and
Oh, my
jumping
goodness.
on, and some guys came up on policemen,
Yeah.
security guards on their bikes. They weren't real policemen. They told him he needed to get off the stage. Well, Harry's answer to that was "fuck you."
Oh, Jesus.
And so he took off on his bike.
Yeah.
And there was no way those two guys were going to catch him. There's no way in hell. And
Yeah.
that's what Harry thought.
Yeah.
But they radioed ahead, and they had
Ah.
another guy coming down, and it's only 3 foot wide. So the one guy got him, made him fall off his bike, took the 3 guys to get him arrested. But
Oh, my
yeah,
goodness.
he was arrested that day for jumping on that stage.
He was just putting on a show.
Oh, yeah. He was just putting on a show. He was not hurting anybody. He was just doing tricks, jumping off, but they frown on that. And Harry pretty much said, well, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And, well, they took offense to it and decided that they weren't going to allow him to do that. So,
Wow. What a fun story.
yeah, just a side note
Oh.
on the little stage there. But
Is that a ferry? Where does that go?
that is the casino boat
Oh.
that you can take. It takes you, I think it's like $6, and it takes you across to the casino on the California side. And it's about a 10-15 minute drive, and it drops you off. You can gamble, do whatever, and it goes every 20 minutes. And you
Oh.
can catch that ferry going back. And it runs throughout the day,
Okay. That's kind of cool. A little fun, something to do there.
especially during the winter when there's no boating or paddleboarding or any of the summer events. We'll take that little boat over and have dinner and then come back.
Ah, this walkway. What a cool concept. I guess. How long has this been here?
It's been there years. What's really cool is a person doesn't have to have passed. You can get a brick. If you look at these bricks down here, you can see where it's just somebody's name or a business name. And this section here is for veterans.
Oh,
So they actually have, and that the ones with the little medallions in the middle,
yeah.
those are the ones that are for veterans and people in the service. And so you could get them with their names on it, or it's a memorial if somebody passes.
Yeah.
And so that's what I decided to do for Harry. And we did what I tried to do, and you'll see, is Harry's signature move on that brick. And it just says Harry Leary Turbo on there, and it shows him on the bike trying to do his signature move. But unfortunately, they couldn't do it, so it looks more like, you'll see, it's a bike with somebody riding, doing like a side thing. It wasn't
Yeah.
It wasn't the turbo, but the only one that really notices it is Eddie. Eddie King noticed it right away, and he's like, "Are you going to change that?" And I'm like,
Ah,
"Are you serious right now?" Because with these pavers, you have to have your order in by October 16th,
oh,
and
annually?
and yes, and then they do it one time a year in March. They do a ceremony right at the stage. They set up chairs there, and they do a ceremony there, and they've all been laid, and then they take everybody down to see your spot where your paver is. So they only do it once a year. So I had to get it in October so that they could do it this last March. And so that's when we did Harry's funeral. Greg and Eddie came out, and Harry's daughter, And so they did the paver, and we all walked down and saw the paver. And then we took a pontoon boat that was captained by a very close friend of mine, Pete, which was a godsend. And he took my family and friends out down to a cove called Steamboat Cove.
Okay.
And we had a little ceremony. My granddaughter was there and threw rose petals into the water.
Nice.
And we played a couple of songs. Harry's urn was water soluble, and it dropped like a rock. I mean, it's like, geez, dude, you really in a hurry. But the paver coming up, I'll show you how they placed it. They decided this year to spell the word freedom. And all they got done was the F-R-E-E. And so Harry is actually in the letter E. So his paver was set, and I thought it was apropos in the word free, because I feel like my brother's free now.
Yeah.
I belong to a walking group. And we walk every Tuesday, Thursday. And we walk this path. And so every time I walk by, coming and going, I make sure I stomp his brick.
Yeah.
And it's actually getting kind of funny because now all my friends stomp him as well. So, and he knows why, because he's a dumbass. And that's why I'm stomping him. So I stomp him every time I see it.
I love it.
So I would hope that you and Anne-Marie would stomp away.
Yeah, let's do it. Hold on, you ready? All right, hey, Kale, you ready? Ready? We're gonna stomp. Is that funny? Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it, kiddo. Oh man, never in my life would I have ever guessed that I'd be crossing the London Bridge to stomp on Harry Leary's memory. Never. It's, you know.
Yeah, I've had people look at me too. They look at me, why are you doing that? It's like, I look at them and say, it's my brother, I have the right.
Yeah.
It's like, don't question me. And I do it every time I pass. And if I pass with not seeing it, I run back and do it.
And is there a specific way that you reflect, or is it kind of all over the board when you see that paver?
The one that I really reflect on is I did another memorial for him at a tree on the disc golf course that is over in the island across the canal. And it's in a beautiful field under a big olive tree. And I reflect there because we did place some of Harry's ashes there as well. And so I go there a lot and talk to Harry. And so the paver, I wonder sometimes if I put that there for me, instead of in memory of Harry, because I really enjoy stomping him. And my friends now, it's become a big joke that, oh, you forgot to stomp your brother. And now my friends are stomping him. So
I love it.
Like, anybody that wants to go down there, feel free to go stomp him. I mean, he would love it. And I know he's looking down, just laughing, going, sister. You know, he always used to say that, sister. So, that's what I do. But I'm with people usually when I walk by. And so I try not to get melancholy, and I focus on the beauty around me and the fact that Harry is right along the canal that he used to go down, or the channel, on his boat. So it's a good spot. It really is. Really would like to put it out there. A lot of the things that people didn't know about Harry, the person, not Harry the BMXer.
Yeah.
To them, he's a legend. To me, he's my brother I love deeply.
Yeah. That comes through.
Yeah, and I miss him. It's a huge hole. I miss him.
Yeah.
And today has been a hard day. It was with my daughter, but she's a big support. So.
And the two of you are helping each other kind of navigate the day, the emotions of the day.
Yeah, for sure.